a lot of them they were charging $30 to $35 to $40,000 to just cross them through the tunnel. And to do that over here in Mexico is I will get shot. The worst scenario for me is not getting shot. The worst scenario for me is what they're doing, that they pick you up, that they disappear your body, and nobody will ever find you. They put all that razor wire, the Marines and the National Guards, all of that they put up. So they reinforce the double layers.
Is that Whiskey 8 over there?
Was that?
Whiskey 8?
No.
Okay.
No, it's not. But all of that is reinforcement of the wall. All of that Constantino wire, all of that.
Yeah, because JJ took us and got the Border Patrol to give us rides, obviously off the record, but we were rowed all the way down, up and down this for like 10 or 15 miles, all the way till where it hit the ocean. Did it hit the ocean somewhere?
Oh, it's right there.
Okay,
Whiskey 8 is over there, yeah. So they reinforced that. I just wanted to just show you that. And also, I wanted to show you a place where they had a tunnel. And, you know, from outside, tomorrow or we can stop by, you can do stand-up right there if you want. This is a couple of places where they had tunnels. We're just, it's a little bit of traffic right here. It's possibly a tractor trailer trying to back up. So these tunnel houses, the majority of them are, they say it's for only trafficking of drugs, but it's the majority is for, now it was for more trafficking of humans. Children, women, majority, a lot of them, they were women. They were sexually trafficked into the United States through those tunnels. And the amount that they were charging for people to cross, you know, to a tunnel was between $20,000 to $25,000 to just cross them through to an underneath tunnel. So when it was a child or when it was somebody that it was a person of interest, you know, they immediately took them through that tunnel, but a lot of them they were charging $30,000 to $35,000 to $40,000 to just cross them through the tunnel. Yes, it was. You know, it's different prices. It's like a social class trafficking, right? Yep. When it's the same when you are in the Darien. In the Darien, you have all the masses of people where they cross. A lot of them they pay $320, $340. And then it's the Chinese, the ones that they pay more. They pay $5,000 to $10,000 just to cross the Darien. Those kind of people, they ride. You know, they have horses to, you know, to get them to the route. They only walk hardly, like possibly 10, 12 hours. It's not like the Venezuelans and the Africans and the people from Haiti that they used to walk 4 or 5 days in the Darien. It's social class, and this has also social class. Every single thing has social classes. Like, you know, the just recent news of the border agents that they were caught, that they were letting in people going in and through their vehicle ports of entry. I'm going to take you there also so you can see the port of entry.
Diego Customs and Border Protection's officers arrested for allegedly accepting bribes to allow dozens of vehicles with undocumented passengers to enter the country.
Our Dominique Lavigny joins us live now from the border with the charges. Dominique, good evening.
Andrew and Maria, the Department of Homeland Security first learned of the alleged corruption here at the border in September when detained human smugglers say they were told what lanes to go through at certain times. That investigation ultimately led to the arrest of these two CBP officers last week.
Dozens of cars with undocumented immigrants apparently passed through this entry point unchecked by Customs and Border Protection officers Farlis Almonte and Ricardo Rodriguez.
He's never obviously been arrested before, never been in jail before, so he's, we're going through a lot.
Before his 5-year tenure with CBP, Hawkins says Rodriguez lawfully immigrated to the U.S. from the Dominican Republic and graduated with an automotive engineering degree.
We want to exercise all of our full due process rights while maintaining, who Ricardo really is. And, he's a guy that, really pulled himself up by his bootstraps.
Federal agents arrested Rodriguez and Almonte at the end of March, charging them on multiple counts of letting undocumented migrants into the country in exchange for cash bribes.
Those kind of people are individuals of personal of interest. What I say by that, potential terrorists, absolutely. People that they have been sex offenders, absolutely. People that they're cartel members. Absolutely. Those are the people that they pay $15, $20, $25, $30, $35,000 to let them in to the vehicle port of entry untouched. The way it works is the cartel member already approached the CBP officer, and the CBP officer is already saying, oh, we already have, I'm starting my day of work at 12 o'clock at noon and I finish at 12 o'clock at night. Okay, at 10 o'clock, between 10 and 12, come, I will let everybody in. And you know, let me just close right here. And I will let everybody in. So that's the way it just it basically works. And they let in not only just persons of interest, tons of cocaine, tons of methamphetamine. I'm not talking about just, you know, in one vehicle possibly 2 tons, 3 tons of methamphetamines like that. So it's all arranged, and that is a big social class. When you have those kind of people that they're going on cars, those are the dangerous ones, because those are the ones that the drivers right here, the guys right there, the one that is going to cross illegally, you go to the CBP officer, the CBP just goes like that and you are in. So those are the people that the United States should be worried about. And that has always existed over here. We have known that CBP officials, they were involved and they were, you know, in cahoots with the cartel. And the problem is, what I think that on the Biden, the most aggravated problem is how much they have infiltrated the CBP and how much they have infiltrated Border Patrol. Because what they want is not only to cross people, is to get their intelligence, how they operate, what is their equipment, what do they use, so they can, you know, maximize their equipment against them. So that's, you know, the whole game is all of that. 2 layers of the wall. This goes all the way to the east side and all the way to the west side. In some places it's an open border gap. This house right here used to be a tunnel house. This is used to be from Los Arellano Felix. This house is confiscated by the Mexican government. All of this used to be a tunnel house. It used to cross, you know, drugs over there. Has been confiscated for years. There's a lot of tunnel houses over here. Why? Because you're going to see right now. I'm going to go around and then take you really close. How it's really close to manufacturing companies with, you know, other manufacturing companies' warehouses on both sides of the border. So you have a warehouse over here and a warehouse over here, and you're thinking that they're manufacturing and they're making stuff, or they're not. And underneath they have tunnels, and they connect really easy. And you know, one of them was really you know, embarrassing. The other one I will take you to in a couple of days. That tunnel house was half a block from the National Guards of Mexico, you know, their office. And they were right there, you know, made a tunnel house. Wow. Like that.
And what do they do? Do they have like a dump? They would have to be inside so that they're filling a dump truck, cover the dump truck, and then pull out of the building. So nobody's seeing them actually getting all that dirt.
They're actually get like, they buy everything off, right? They buy the construction sites, they buy the permits, they have already police that they're already been bought off. Wow. And the police goes back and forth, and sometimes they stand a corner, and you know, National Guard passes by like, oh, I'm just watching right here, what's going on. Oh, the National Guard thinks that, you know, they're doing their job, but they're not. What they're doing ultimately is guarding the tunnel house, you know, and they basically, you know, protecting the tunnel house. The way that, you know, possibly it gets snitched, or possibly tunnel houses, how they get discovered, is because they're already building another tunnel house.
And they let them take that one down.
It's like, I'm offering you this big bus, but I'm already, I'm doing pa through another. So sometimes it's not like oh my God, what a discovery. No, it's not about that. It's yes, I'm just showing you that I'm tired of this one. It got burned out, and possibly already people found out that I'm here, you're watching me, you're you know, that tunnel house is not going to take that long for people to discover it. So they're like, already make another one. And then all of a sudden they threw, I don't know, half a ton of cocaine that they don't need, that it has possibly a 30% of purity, that, you know, it's not even going to be sellable in the United States on the black market. And they throw it down there, and then it's like, oh, we discovered 30 tons of cocaine. Like, oh, wow, yeah, okay, that's the tunnel house. Assure it, cut it, but they already made another one. So it's the state of Baja California is the state that has more tunnel houses in the whole country. The state is actually the one that started penetrating with tunnel houses. It was at Chapo Guzman, and it was Los Arellano Felix. Those two, they started building tunnel houses, and they brought people from, from Afghanistan, from the Taliban, from all those kind of places. They brought those people to tell them how to build tunnels and how to do those kind of things.
How do they? Have you been in one?
A long time ago, yes.
And what are they like in there? Is it just dirt, or they got to reinforce? How do they build it?
Well, the ones that they're already closed, they have a big block of cement in the middle. That is, the United States puts a big block of cement in the middle, and then they put let's see if I can call it now. Then they put heat sensors. So if you are close to the area where it is almost to the limitation between Mexico and the United States in terms of territory, the heat sensor will send an alarm to the United States, and the United States will immediately,
investigate.
Say that, hey, somebody's close. Call the government of Mexico and say, like, hey, somebody's close there. Who is it? So the ones, they closed them. They put a big block of cement in the middle, and that's about it. And the way it is possibly it is. You're talking about from 6 to 12 meters going down, and then it's long. A lot of them, the one that I entered, had all the amenities. Like, it was just unbelievable what they had. It was air conditioning. It was rail to push a little train, like a cart. It was lighting, technology, all of that. It was really impressive, and that kind of things. Those kind of things are like, well, they have the amount of money to do it. They have that kind of amount of money to do it. So possibly tomorrow, or the day after. You see that mountain over there?
Yes.
Okay, you see the wall? Yeah. You see the wall?
I do.
Okay.
100%.
There's a big open border gap right there. We're going over there. I have been there a couple of times. I discovered that back in 2018. I climbed all the way. I walked all the way from this side of the wall all the way to that side of the wall, and it took me around 6 hours to get there walking.
Wow.
But that place, at first, it was friendly. Back in 2018, 2019, they were trafficking people from Portugal, also from Middle East, and specifically there was a lot of people from India coming through there. And all of the houses right there close to that perimeter, they're all owned by the cartel. All of them, they were owning those houses. There was a lot of drone dropping packages of drugs, and a lot of operations. Tomorrow you will see how close their houses are. I want to take you just right here so you can see how it is just so close.
What town is that in California? Is that Jacumba?
No, that's no. Jacumba is, we're gonna go to that one. But we're gonna go. It's like 45 minutes away from here, Jacumba, and it is not easy to get to Jacumba. It's called Jamul, the town on the Mexican side. For you to get in there, we need a National Guard, officials with long artillery, and also we need an immigration, convoy. It's not easy to get in there. It's completely different. I want to tell you something. This is completely different for journalists when they're in the United States that they're in Mexico. In the United States, you can be on the other side of the wall and be hours recording. Over here, you have a limit time. When they tell you, like, if I want to go up there and that specific gap, do you see that gap right there?
Yep.
If I want to go up there, the National Guard is going to tell me, okay, you have 15 minutes. After those 15 minutes, I don't want you here. And they know why, because actually the cartel will see who you are, and they will actually, be tracking you, and some of the times they follow you, and they pull you down to the car and say, like, what are you doing? What are you recording? It's really dangerous over here. It's extremely dangerous. It's a completely different ballgame of it has changed a lot in the years, because before I used to go up there, climb, walk. The cartel didn't bother you at all, but now it has completely changed. It is really, really difficult to go to those places, because they're before with Biden, it was impossible to go there. They had the authority. They were shooting at journalists, shooting up in the sky. We don't want you here. It was all controlled. All that little neighborhood, it was controlled. So it was massive trafficking, and they were making millions of dollars over there. But now that is Trump, they are upset, that they're not receiving people, and the trafficking has gone down almost 90% or 100% on that place. Even they put a National Guard post, like a camp over there to fight the cartel. So it's really different. Tomorrow we'll go over there, and I will show you that place. It takes us like around an hour to get there. So it's not easy to get. We gotta go. You're gonna enjoy that. It's through roads and houses and also mountains, and it's difficult. For me, when I found that, it's because when I saw it, I was like, what the hell? Why is that a gap? That's the way that I used to do my broadcasting. I used to go and see the wall and like, why that gap is open? So I'm like, oh, okay, let me go and walk. So back in the day, I used to just grab the camera and just go. And I used to record when I used to see a lot of activity when I was recording walking. People climbing, people jumping, cartel throwing, bags to the other side, and other people picking them up immediately so they can take them, talk about drugs, possibly, all that kind of stuff. So that gap was one of the most important gaps for trafficking of people. In Jamul, Jacumba, it's really difficult to get in there, because when I went, back in 2018 or 2019, I went over there, and it was not as it was with Biden. That was the area where they were trafficking a lot of Chinese, a lot of these people.
Yep.
So it was all owned by one specific cartel. That cartel had a lot of artillery and it had high, caliber weapons. And they were guarding consistently that area.
They were always. We couldn't get over there without a cartel. If you got binoculars, you would look out and you would see a cartel tracking us on the America side.
It was for you to do that. It is for me to do what you did, and to be that bold to go up and to do that over here in Mexico is I will get shot, or I will get, the worst scenario for me is not getting shot. Worst scenario. The worst scenario for me is what they're doing. That they pick you up and they disappear your body, and nobody will ever find you ever again. And that's the worst thing, because you don't give your family a pleasant goodbye, so that's the worst thing that we think over here. When a car comes over and they're like, pull over, like, all right, okay, so you pulled over and they tell you what's going on, what are you recording, what are you doing, what this, what that. A lot of questions. Give me your phone, It'll delete. That's, I don't want you here anymore. I'm like, all right, we'll not be here anymore. In Jamul, that is the border with Jacumba, the two times that I went in there were, the first time that I went in there in 2019, it was easy. Went in there, got out, no problem whatsoever. Everybody was like, hey, everybody knew what they were doing. But then with Biden, it got extremely aggressive. They were really aggressive. So that's the only place that the government of Mexico tells you, if you're going over there, just be aware that there's really few possibilities that you're going to be able to get out. And I'm talking about 2% if you go on your own. So we have to let the authorities know, like, hey, I'm going over there. Who you with? Which network you're with? Okay, what are you doing? Okay, how much time do you need? And immediately, even the National Guard officials, they feel nervous, because those people have better equipment and military equipment than the own government of Mexico. They will immediately, surround you, ambush you, and call it a night. That's it. They are not going to release you unless, when they see an American, they're going to try to sponge money out of the whole situation. Going to try to suck money out of that. So it's going to be like, oh, I'm going to ask you for ransom money. That's the only thing they're going to do. So it's really different when you're in the States and when you're over here. It's completely different. The crime has escalated over here in Baja continuously. It's not only just about shootings. The homicide rate has gone up. And what the government of Mexico is doing, it is, intentional homicide they're flipping it to involuntary manslaughter, is called like that. So it will look like if you see 6 people dead on one day, they will not categorize that as a homicide. They will categorize it as an involuntary manslaughter, like it was the person's fault.
Yep.
Like it was their negligence.
Yep.
This is why they say the murder rate has gone down, is because they're registering everything as it was the negligence of the individual, not because it was a murder and it was directed to an assassination towards a person.
And they do that because if you get too many murders, the murder rate gets too high.
Well, it's
a no travel zone, right?
Well, not only that, you're letting the population know that the cartel has the control of the city or the control of the state. So what you don't want is the people to, to flip on you and to say, oh, you don't even have control of the city, you don't even have control of the state. Let me see where the cartel house is. This is the National Guard offices, and I believe that it was, I'm trying to see where that house was at. I think that it was more to the back, but it was just next to the National Guard's house, and it was already red taped, and it was really close to
how far?
Yeah, this one, right there.
And how far is the border from here?
It's right there.
Right there. Okay,
yeah,
so that's how far the tunnels
go.
go.
Yeah. So
and how far into that side do they go? Just right up on the other side?
It's like a half a kilometer, and the audacity is that they built it underneath the customs.
No way, dude.
Look at the wall. So it's the customs. They built it underneath the customs offices of Mexico and underneath the wall.
What port is this? So I want to have my editors get some Google footage.
Port of Otay.
Port of Otay. All right, guys,
Otay
grab some overhead shots when he's talking about that there.
Yeah, Otay Port of Entry. Yeah, the Otay Port of Entry. This is, a really busy port of entry, but it's not such as busy as the San Ysidro Port of Entry. That's a real busy port of entry, the San Ysidro one. But I wanted to show you that that's how bold the cartel is. They don't care.
How busy is this compared to the Eagle Passport? Just so I have an idea of type of.
Well, Otay?
Yeah.
It's busy. Tijuana and Otay have the most busiest vehicle ports of entry in the world. They're the ones that they have more crossings of vehicles coming back and forth. So it tells you that it's extremely busy. For you to, we have a big situation over here that also is important. A lot of U.S. citizens started coming live over here because of rent that is unaffordable in California, and the situation in California is unsustainable. So you have a situation of that, and the people have flooded Tijuana. And what they have done is, because the Americans have come over here, they have increased the rent pay.
Gentrifying.
Yeah. So yes, exactly. So now the dollar is more important than the peso. So now the actual citizen that has a job like this or works at a 7-Eleven, they cannot live on the nicest parts in the city of Tijuana because it's too expensive. So they push them out to the east parts of the country. And the majority of the people that they're crossing consistently back and forth to the United States are U.S. citizens or U.S. residents, or they have a work visa or something like that.
Yeah.
The majority of them. So it's just always busy.
And they take their kids over to go to school in America too, right? Yes,
exactly. Like that. That actually, Trump wanted to do that. He wanted to make residents live in the United States. That is actually a requirement. But a lot of the residents, they can't afford the economy of the United States. So that's the reason. I can
barely afford it.
Yeah, well, it's unaffordable. Really, it's really expensive. So yes, this is where I took you right now is the commercial line for truck drivers to cross back and forth, and it has been greatly affected by the tariffs and all that kind of stuff. A lot of manufacturing companies have decreased a lot of their exportation to the United States because of the tariffs, but their gross product is still increasing, and they're actually thinking of, exporting to Thailand or all those other places because, the level of tariff, it is unaffordable. So there is really having a massive impact on the economy. A lot of people don't want to talk about it because they want to say, some of the journalists are paid off by a political party down here in Baja, so they don't want to say that because it will say like the government has the control, or the government is right. We're fighting this off, and the pride of sovereignty, like the President Sheinbaum is saying that we're not letting Trump designate the cartels as terrorists because that will he's going to invade our sovereignty, and it's just she's using that justification just to protect them.
And I want to say that it is true that in some of the calls, but not as mentioned, he said, "How can we help you fight against drug trafficking?" I propose that the United States Army come in to help you. And do you know what I said? No, President Trump, the territory is inviolable, sovereignty is inviolable, sovereignty is not for sale. Sovereignty is loved and defended. There is no need. We can collaborate, we can work together, but you in your territory, we in ours, we can share information, but we will never accept the presence of the United States Army in our territory.